All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we're going to start our new unit today. And the first thing you need to understand about the unit is our student learning guide. Now, a student learning guide is pretty much the step-by-step piece of paper that's going to tell you what to do, how to do it, why you're going to do it. It's going to tell you what you need to look at and everything on your own, so you don't actually have to bother or interrupt me if I'm helping another student. So your student learning guide looks like this. I know this is actually kind of a bad image of it, but unfortunately, I made a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, and it took forever, and of course the copies don't look right. So the first thing you're going to notice is that it is folded, and it's got it's one big sheet of paper, and it's folded, and all four sides of paper is used. So it's a little booklet telling you pretty much what we're doing and why we're doing it. So when you get it, you're going to notice that your name is automatically going to be written on the first page. I wrote everybody's name on it, first name, last name, or initial. I wrote your mod, 2A, 2B, 3B, whichever one it is, and I gave you a number. And the number is based off where you are alphabetically in School Max. It has nothing to do with your ranking in class. It has everything to do with just alphabet for that class based on last name. So we're going to go over the student learning guide and pretty much step by step what you need to understand and what it is and why it is and why we're going to use it. So pretty much we're going to break it down. Now up here it's supposed to say 2D Studio Work Observational Drawing Unit, Student Learning Guides, grades 7 and 8. Unfortunately, because it's a copy of a copy of a copy, it didn't come out right. These things happen. If you want to write it above so you know what it is, you know, my pen wants to work, 2D Studio Work, Observational Drawing Unit. You can write it up top if it helps you remember what it is. Now, the student learning guides are not something that you're going to keep. In the past, I've let you glue it into your sketchbook or keep it in a folder. This year, you're not going to keep it. You're not going to glue it anywhere. At the end of every class, you're going to return it to me. And then you're going to get it at the beginning of every class because I want to double check to make sure you're staying on track and that you're filling out what you're supposed to be filling out. So the first thing you're going to understand is how it's laid out. So from left to right, it tells you everything you need to know. The step that you're on, and underneath that is all of the numbers of each step. Teacher check-in. If it is colored in black, you don't need to show it to me after you finish. If it's blank, you need to show me everything from that row up. So, for instance, step 1, you don't need to show me when you're done with step 1. You need to show me everything when you're done with step 2, so you need to show me your goal setting and your pre-test. We'll get into that a little later. The task, that is what you're doing. So step 1, task 1 is a unit pre-test. Very simple. Studio requirements, pretty much tells you what you're going to be doing. This one says watch video, create a drawing of the side view of your sneaker. Very simple. Learning objective. To participate in a pretest determining student ability. It tells you what you're doing, why you're doing it. Student check-in. You need to sign and date every single step that you complete so that when I check it at the end of the day, I know that you're on task and that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and that you're actually working within the time frame given. Due date. Now, these dates may or may not change depending on weather and other things going on, but the due date pretty much is already set for you. So March 7th or 8th, depending on whether or not you're an A day or a B day. The 7th this month is an A day, and the 8th is a B day. Okay? Now, sometimes underneath steps, there's going to be spaces for you to write. This is where you're going to answer the questions. So for instance, step 2, unit goal setting. You're going to watch video on description of unit, create 3 learning or skill goals for the unit. Here it tells you what you're doing again. You're going to list 3 goals that you're going to set, whether things you want to learn or skills you want to learn. And then you're going to list 5 ways you plan on reaching those goals in this unit. Very simple. We're going to go over more of this in class. Now, steps 3 through 6, also here. Now, it tells you right here, see all this black? You don't need to show me them until you get down here. Okay? So task, studio requirement, why you're doing it, student check-in, due date. Okay? Now, for step 6, the reflection, if you flip it open, is on the next page, all the way up top. Notice I have another space for your name, mod, and class number. Please fill this out on every page. Now, as we go on through the unit, I will go over all of this with you either through another video or in class. But everything is very self-explanatory. It tells you what you're doing, why you're doing it, and it gives you a due date. There should be absolutely no confusion of this. Now, the only thing I want to go over really fast is this teacher check-in. Zoom in. Autofocus. There we go. So, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. These are the amounts of points you're going to get. However, it is not the number of points that are going to show up in School Max. The number of points that are going to show up in School Max are going to be out of 100. So, for instance, if I circle a 10, you got 100. If I circle 9, you got a 90, 80, 70, 60, all the way down the line. I would rather not give out anything below a 60, which means you need to actually do what you're supposed to be doing. A 60 means you did the bare minimum, that you didn't even try, you didn't even care, and it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to turn around and be like, nope, redo it so you can at least get a 70 or an 80. However, you don't do anything, it's a 40% or a 0. Whichever one I decide to be generous with. 40% helps a little bit. A 0 helps you not at all. Okay? If you have any questions about the student learning guide or my grading or anything along those lines, after you read through it, you can please feel free to contact me via email. You can come up to me during class when everybody is working. Okay? And that is it.